also quite an experienced player. But I guess that's the way you always look at it. Like, I think one of the I'm not sure if he was younger than me by much, but one of the things that made me feel old the most is the fact that I'm older than Kenny S.
Oh wow!
And that surprised me, because it's not even like people might be looking at you going, "Yeah, Tom, but you're 45." Well, I'm only 26, and that's Kenny S is 25 years old, and that's weird to me because I would expect him to be like closer to the age of maybe like Chris J or someone like that who's been around for a long time. But Kenny's been around for a long time, but he also started playing when he was like 17 years old.
Yeah.
And he was just so good that he sort of elevated. The same we've seen from the likes of someone like Brolin, even Frozen to an extent. Like, I'm like, I've been watching Frozen for like 3 or 4 years. That must mean he's 20. It's like, no, it doesn't. He's still very, very young. So it definitely does play in your mind a little bit. But yeah, Kenny S being 25 years old is ridiculous. And it's also the funniest thing as well. Do you know who the oldest player on the G2 roster is? If you had to guess. Have a guess.
It's going to be like Jax, isn't it? It's going to be like a weird one.
It is Jax.
Yeah.
Jax is the oldest player on that roster. And that kind of broke my mind when I realized that, because obviously I'm pretty sure the in-game leader of Nexa is the youngest player on the team, which is obviously fairly impressive to be the one leading the way as the youngest player, because normally you put in-game leader roles down to, oh, he's experienced. And within Asia, that's literally all it takes. Like Xiao Sage being an in-game leader is a joke because his calls are not great. But yeah, he's the youngest player on the team, and obviously Jax is the oldest, and he's burst onto the scene relatively recently. So, yeah, great work from him.
Jeez.
That is a crisp couple of shots, and then the third one went a miss, but luckily Papi Chulo is going to add another to the body pile. Micro needs at least a kill here. He doesn't want to just give up a massive man of advantage like that and turn it back into a 2v3. Bomb's going to go down. There is a push coming in onto short, and wow, Papi Chulo. Well, he's talked about great taps coming out from Derek initially. He's even going to celebrate by breaking a plant pot. The classic celebration for BREN Esports.
Classic. Yeah, I think, Tom, ZIGMA have at least listened to you, because they've gone to the B site to start with. And you saw there, Micro did go down without getting a kill. The problem was Derek landing these early 2 shots. And then at the end, it just became a bit awkward when Papi Chulo takes this fight. This is a fight you never want to take on the pistol round, right? If you've got a Glock and you're sitting at bench, you don't want to take that fight. But he had to try and defend his teammate who was planting. So that's unfortunate for them. But Papi and Derek showing up early, that's got to feel good if you're BREN. These are the 2 players I was looking at on this team, and they're continuing it into this round as well. Derek already opening up proceedings.
Yeah, good start. Well, this is where, realistically, BREN want to try and keep this one nice and clean. Just Cause has managed to get quite far.
Ooh.
Nice shot onto Derek. Now, Micro, I think his teammate might be a little bit annoyed at him there, not realizing, not giving the information over that there was already a player that far out. Seems like a bit of a mistake. The rest of the team is still trying to push into the side. Bro, that is a wide angle to take. It always makes me uncomfortable when a CT player goes wide peeking into ramp. I'm just like, what are you expecting to happen here? Like, you already have the site to yourself. You don't need to be that aggressive. Papi Chulo, though, he's having a field day. As said, he's someone who had a bit of a slow start to the last map, but had a fantastic comeback. Now, 6-0 in this one. I'm already a little bit worried for ZIGMA, but at least they now have their buy coming up onto the board.
That they do. And I think that round actually could have worked for ZIGMA if they got the timing slightly better, because they knew that they had a player creeping up on B that entire time. I feel like if you just get ready to burst onto A there, if you time that just 10 seconds sooner, you might get the bomb down. You would just need that 1 kill, but they wasted a bit too much time rotating over. Either way, it means they can get the AKs out into this round, so it's not a big deal. They've got the big guns out on the board, and if BREN lose this round, they won't have much money left. They really don't have much money in the bank, so ZIGMA could break the economy very early on here, and they've instantly gone for this mid control, and without the AWP, BREN are not going to contend for it.
Well, and to see whether or not ZIGMA get anything done in this round. already used. BREN have used a lot of utility considering we're only a minute in. They've got 1 incendiary. I was going to say 3 flashbangs, but one of those went down with wits. With him falling, it makes things a little bit awkward. Now, they've tried to stack an extra player onto this B site, maybe making the realization that their B site was definitely more vulnerable the last time they played. This is aggressive from Papi Chulo, though. He's going to run into 2 players. Wanted to try and find extra information, but maybe found a little bit more than he was hoping for. A push going to be coming in from Reality Jesus. Now, the bomb's going in the other direction, but Pro's going to get this kill, and now they should be rotating back. I don't know why they've gone all in here. He's seen 1 player and no one else has pushed, and they've completely given up the B site. I guess we can call that a good fake from ZIGMA, but I think that's almost just a poor decision being made by BREN.
I think we saw the over-rotation already from BREN in that earlier round as well. So credit to ZIGMA for realizing that. They've made the most of it, and Niffy was waiting behind the entire time, hoping to line up 2 kills, but he'll take the freebie instead. And at this point, BREN might have to think about saving. This retake seems unlikely, but Pro's got them that kill that they were looking for. Taking damage in the process, though, and the time is ticking. They're looking to reposition, but I think they've realized time is too far gone. They'll be saving these 2 rifles into the next. But with the money they have in the bank, if they save these 2 guns, they'll just about be able to get a buy together. I think Pro will be able to drop for a teammate. They might have some things missing, but it's at least something for them. And it's the first round on the board for ZIGMA, already starting to get their way onto that B site.
Yeah, it's a start. I will say that I'm partially going to give that over to some weird decision-making being made by BREN. Like, I get the whole, like, oh, you want to be there, you want to get support your teammate, whatever. But he gets 1 kill, and then there's no other sound, players pushing information, nothing. And he's in a pretty good position to see all of it. So, I don't know. I think they made a miscall there, and to give up the B site, it's always going to be the tougher of the 2 to retake. I would rather see them maybe gamble 1 player, but at least leave some sort of defense. This round, though, they're going to have to be a bit more proactive as there's some weaponry missing. Derek, he spotted the head, but after missing the initial shots, might be an idea just to be a little bit more passive.
Especially if you're going to flash yourself. At that point, I think, just give up on that position. That's what Derek does. ZIGMA again spreading across the map. There's a bit of pressure being put onto this B site. And BREN already rotating one of the players away from A. These are some really fast rotations from the CTs. The A site only has 1 man there right now. Early trades going down. Pro still watching for this flank. Oh, the timing is so terrible for him. Meanwhile, Papi, who's been playing so aggressively at the start of this game, is all the way in spawn. And ZIGMA might be trapped here as they move into this A site. Wits is the 1 man here. Scout shot lands, looks for the second. Niffy's able to trade him, but the CTs have all the info they need. The rotate is arriving onto the site, and Just Cause has no chance. Papi denies him. 9 kills on the board now for Papi. He's been pushing all over the place, and it's been working wonders for him.
He's been getting away with far too much. That's definitely the case, and they were clearly trying to be very aggressive in that round. Oh. Nice shots as well coming out from the scout. I'm starting to really worry for ZIGMA because these are rounds where they're supposed to have an advantage going in. Okay, they finally managed to punish Papi Chulo. I appreciate the run through the Molotov as well, just to try and get something a little bit cheeky off in this round. Micro, he's already done some initial damage. Still playing with an SMG in the majority of these rounds, and considering he's the solo B player, it's viable for sure, but whether or not he'll be able to stop the full force of this ZIGMA roster, oh, it's questionable. Taking a little bit of damage. The distraction play comes in. The spray down does a lot of damage, but at the same time, the bomb will be planted.
Yeah, you'd rather just get 2 kills there than the damage onto those 2 players, I think. But there is a nade about to arrive onto the site, and it denies the bomb. Oh, that's so unfortunate for ZIGMA. There's another nade. Oh, my goodness. BREN's nades are on point, and that might be what wins them this round. Pro coming in with another kill. Derek lands the final headshot. And BREN's utility has been pretty solid throughout these first two maps. Their nades in particular have done good damage from the CT side. If those nades don't arrive in time there, they might have been in trouble in that round, but it helps them hold on for a 4-1 lead.
Yeah, a hold on's definitely the word I would use as well. Pro, he's had a very good start to this map. I think if I saw that correctly, he hasn't died.
Yeah, I think so.
That was 7-0. Tees are going to take themselves some mid control. It hasn't been battled for too much. We've seen some aggression out from Derek, but other than that, not really been anything too crazy just yet. Wits going to try and utilize the smoke to give them a little bit of an angle over the top if they do try and go towards short. Some counter utility has been expended. I don't know if that quite landed in the way they were hoping. No, that's an awful smoke. Awful smoke for Connector. It's got caught on the box, I think. I'm not sure what's happened there. Reality G is actually just going to go walking in, though. Oh, it's very awkward. Pro, I don't know how he's still alive. I said he hadn't died yet. Well, he's on 1 HP. Micro about to be pressured again. It's almost like they've heard me. They've started pushing B an awful lot since realizing Micro, he should be dead here. He should be dead. How have they not heard that? It makes so much noise. And Niffy, well, his flank. I don't know why they didn't wait for that. That seems to be a recurring theme. That this man has a very good position. He puts himself in a spot where he can win them the round. And then they don't wait for it. They just go, all right, we'll push anyway. And they might have thrown this one away. Luckily, Pro very low. Papi Chulo only has an SMG. Niffy has enough health that this is workable, but he walks into the crosshair of Pro, unfortunately. So, not going to happen this time.
As if they didn't have enough sound already from the molly hitting Micro, I'm pretty sure he ran out for the peak as well. Like, at that point, someone has to be aware. You just have to be looking at that position, just waiting. But instead, Micro gets away with 2 kills, which make all the difference on the round. Very sloppy stuff from ZIGMA in this one. Even that spray from Pro was uncomfortable, but just no one looking at him. He takes the 2 kills. I mean, credit to Micro for getting those kills so quickly because he was standing in the flames. He could have got flustered by that. But at the same time, ZIGMA will be kicking themselves after that round, giving away fights in mid, giving away those fights at B. And after that round at B didn't go too well for them, they've all decided to group up around A at the start of this round. And they haven't really tested the A site too much so far.
Yeah, it's the opposite of what we've seen previously. They're going to go for what seems like a fairly fast push. Papi Chulo, that Molotov hasn't affected him, so they've got to check above, and they do. Niffy with the clear. The entry going their way, and, well, Niffy's just gone ham. 2 kills, 1 running into the opponent, and Wits, that's a save straight away. And with the amount of damage they've been able to do over the last few rounds, this AWP may be all they have going into the next round.
Solid take from ZIGMA there, clearing a lot of the angles that they had to. Because their nades were in a lot of the other spots, they're instantly looking at that top of Palace position. They don't have to clear under Palace because they've got the molly there. They've got smokes for some of the other spots, so they can much more easily clear way fewer angles, and it gives them such a better chance to win those fights. That's exactly what they do. They completely overwhelm the A-bomb site. And that's the sort of round, as an in-game leader, you really love to win. Because if you win with a convincing A-take like that, mind games can start to come through. Wits is somehow still alive. He even tries the no-scope at the end there before finally falling. So no AWP gets saved on over. And for BREN, after quite a few close rounds previously, this is where that comes back to cost them. They can't really get much in this one.
Yeah, this is a bit of an awkward position, and all it took was a complete change of pace. I like that. That was a much better execution coming out from ZIGMA. It's something I've sort of harped on them for, is that a lot of the time they're quite bland, quite stale, and the change of pace worked wonderfully. The CT side have invested way too much into this round. If they were ever considering a buy in the next, I guess they've just accepted the double eco. But, well, half of them have. Because
yeah.
Micro's now bought nothing, which makes me think they want to buy in the next round. But Pappy's bought down to 800. Unless he's just accepted the fact that he's going to be playing with an SMG, which I'd be interesting, but you know, you never know, really.
I mean, Pappy's been pushing a lot. He could try and push with the MP9, Oh, Pro, speaking of pushing, goes all the way into Palace, gets the kill with the Deeg, and gets an AK for his troubles. And now this is a round that very much could be on the cards for BREN. It's only one AK. Wits is the only one with Kevlar as well, and Pro may have been spotted there. Niffy has his eyes trained on this position. I think they know. Yeah, they're spamming it. Reality gets the wall bang. 2 kills onto this A site, and BREN's rotation won't arrive in time.
Now, Derek, I think at this point they might just be accepting the fact that they're going for a few exit kills. They're gonna go. They're gonna go for the boost. Being jiggle peaked by PP overdose, so I don't think they'll be giving up too much in this scenario. But good bounce back from ZIGMA. They've won the last round, looking to win this one relatively clean as well. So yeah, it looks like they're setting themselves up in a pretty good position.
Oof. Just picked up that Deeg, and he's already put it to use. ZIGMA should now realize they've got this round in the bag, and realistically, just hold on to these guns. BREN haven't been able to find those 2 rifles they've dropped. One of them was dropped on towards A, but I doubt they're going to get it in time. And no way they can get that gun. And as you said, there's just no way that BREN can get a good buy here. If they go for it, there's going to be a lot of sacrifices, no AWP. If I were them, I'd probably save again, as much as it pains them to do so. They've already got a decent enough lead. There's that shot from Reality, knew exactly where that player was positioned. They spotted him move to that spot. And Reality's starting to get rolling after some nice kills with the AWP. And indeed, Tom, they have decided to go for another save, which I think is the correct call.
Yeah, definitely. I do think that that's going to be interesting going forward. Derek, though, going to try and do a little bit of extra damage here with the D, hitting some tasty shots. He's retrieved an AK as well. Pro has now found one more. It's left onto PP Overdose and Just Cause, and they're pushing him. Now Just Cause is the only one remaining. He's had a bit of a quiet series so far, and they've picked up some guns. I'm hoping one of them's going to be handed over to Wits, considering he's the only player that has any armor. It would make sense, but I guess not in this case. He's picked up an AWP instead. Ooh. That makes the least sense of all. But I guess he is the man who knows how to wield it. Just Cause, he's turning this back. He's going to get all 3. A saving grace that shouldn't have been needed, but one that is welcomed by the ZIGMA squad.
Oh, what are BREN doing on the retake, though? The first man just runs in. His teammates weren't ready. They weren't even looking at this position. Great shots to begin with from Derek. This second one was so clean. Pretty tight angle here. You've got to be quick. And he certainly was. Then there was this kill from Pro pushed into underpass. Reality there is jumping with the AWP. But then look, first man runs in. No one's ready for the trade. Just Cause has time to smoke CT, isolate another fight. It's well played by Just Cause to turn that into 1v1s at the end there. But I think BREN will be kicking themselves. That was a round they definitely could have won. But at the same time, bringing it close is already a good thing. They can get the gun round into this next one, and hopefully they won't be too down on themselves, because they've got a chance to really put the pain onto ZIGMA. The T-side economy is starting to look weak, and I think Wits is going to have to back away from this position. Doesn't want to stick around with players so close by.
Just Cause clearly feeling confident after the last round. Don't really blame him. Well, the CTs do come into this one with a buy, so it's not really the biggest worry in the world.
BREN have not been fighting for mid at all. They're leaving it wide open. Could make those rotates between the sites somewhat difficult, but at the same time, they've got 3 players ready and waiting on this A site, where it looks like push is about to come in.
Yeah, Rolex will trade with the Flames, but they're falling a little bit flat. Papi Chulo, bit cleaner there, and maybe he gets 2, but nonetheless, the brawl continues. The bomb has to go down. 15 seconds left, and Just Cause is patient. Micro caught running with a knife out. And while Derek has to try and save them once again, a rifle retrieved for Reality Jesus, not wanting to face with that AWP anymore, and Derek may just have to make the decision to save fairly soon. He's trying to work out where the second player is, but it's not going too well. Ooh. And when he finally realizes, it's too little too late.
That was planted safe, Tom. There was actually a chance he could have won that because one of the players was in connector. He was nowhere near the bomb. So I think Derek realized, hey, I've actually got a chance at this if I can maybe win that first fight. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen for him, though. I also think that it's either a case of Micro just being a bit inexperienced and not having his gun out, or maybe one of his teammates made a miscall that they were all on the A side of the map. Because you've got to be aware that there's probably going to be a player sitting at mid in that sort of round. It's not that common for teams to go for a full 5-man A exec. You can see it sometimes, but normally you have to be ready for a player waiting at mid and cutting off those rotates. And with Micro getting caught there, made it much more difficult for Derek in the clutch. And ZIGMA have got themselves back on track in this game. All tied up, 5-5 on the scoreline. BREN have been able to do some damage in these sorts of rounds, though, so we can't count them out of this one. But realistically, it should be ZIGMA getting themselves into the lead.
Oh, Rolex starts things off well. Looks to continue in that fashion. Witz is going to try and sneak his way around, but he should be caught. That'll be Niffy with another frag. ZIGMA's starting to really rise into this one, and the problem is that I feel like BREN have definitely had opportunities to do something in this game, but every time they come close, they seem to let the round slip away. Like, there's been a lot of silly decisions, a lot of questionable moments that have put them in an awkward spot, to say the least. Well, this round, gonna go well. 5 players alive, money being built for ZIGMA. The half now turning into a favorable one, and we need to see a step up from the side of BREN, because this has now been, what, 5 rounds in a row? This was a 5-1 scoreline.
Yeah, it's been a real turnaround from BREN. And this is where I'm interested to see if there's any adaptation from the CT side. So far, they haven't been fighting for mid in any of these rounds. So that's the first question. The second question is, do they switch things up on this A side? Because in the last couple of rounds, ZIGMA have been full execing onto A and winning pretty much every time. And they're going to try and do the same again. Pro getting aggressive into the midst of this smoke. Flash blinds him slightly, but he's just given away his position. ZIGMA, though, still haven't gone through the smoke here. They're not looking anywhere near as confident in the push this time, but they're finally going to make their move, and Niffy's already opened things up.
Yeah, Witz brings one back. The wide peak for Papichulo, though, that early confidence has definitely gone to his head. He started taking riskier and riskier fights as the rounds go on, and I can't say I'm a fan. He's not impressing me, to say the least. We are going to have to tease actually just duck out of this round. I like this. They don't need to necessarily execute right away. They've got some early frags. They've put the CTs in a position where they don't really know too much in terms of where the push is going to be coming from, and they're just going to wait it out. And this is where Micro might start thinking about a rotation back to the B site and give them far more of an opening on this side of the map. However, it seems like they're being as patient as their counterparts on the other side, and Derek's still at the back of the site. Witz with the AWP, but this is where that rotation begins. This is where they start pushing back. 20 seconds left as they do finally start to make their play. They don't have any utility. It's 2 flashbangs to try and make the play work. Derek has got a kill from the back of the site. What a shot from Reality Jesus. And now the AWP is just going to try and defend off the map. Planting the bomb. He just owns Derek as well. And Micro, the man who walked away, the man who questioned whether or not this was going to still be an A hit, is the last one standing. Plenty of time to play with. A kit, a little bit of utility to go alongside it, but getting past this man of Reality Jesus is not going to be easy. And another wallbang headshot to close. Fantastic round from him.
Yeah, Reality's been the best player on the server in this series so far, with some of the rounds he's had. Excellent work in this one. Witz getting a kill up close to begin with, but this is Reality. So many wallbangs in this round. Headshot onto Witz. This one, just stupendous, but he still gets it. Quad kill for him. Another round for ZIGMA, and they are starting to dominate in this one. And as you said, I really like that decision they made to just slow things down in the 3v3. Because as much as you don't have much utility there on the ZIGMA side of things, you've already used most of your nades on the A take. In the 3v3, it's fairly likely if you just sit back, you're going to be able to group up and hit a maximum of 2 players. You know that BREN aren't going to be able to fully rotate. So really nice call from ZIGMA. I like that decision to slow things down, which I think is something these Asian teams can sometimes struggle with, is knowing when to slow down. And so far, this is really turned around for ZIGMA. They have been stepping up on this T side of Mirage. I think you can see they are much more comfortable on this map.
It's looking good for sure. And well, for BREN, it started strong. As said, they were 5-1 in the lead, and since then it's been all ZIGMA. Just Cause cleaning things up once more. I think the closest round we've seen was obviously that 3v1 they lost. But even that was a pistol round that never really should have happened in the first place. And now they're just getting picked apart. It looks like they might be dead in the water. Nice shot from Papi Chulo, but it should be too little too late, as Niffy will close him out. And this leaves just Pro. A very long rotation coming in from him, hoping to be on the flank. But at this point, it should be more than expected.
Whew, Just Cause so quick on that kill. Another round for ZIGMA. Another chance for BREN to get their buy going, though. And I think we might see a double AWP setup. Pappy picking up the AWP. No, just to drop it to Wits. We could still see the second sniper in play. I wouldn't mind it for BREN at this point, because clearly they could do with switching something up. And they've also taken a tactical timeout ahead of this round to talk things over. Derek does decide to go for the rifle, so no switch up there. Over on the first map, we talked about that AWP battle between Wits and Reality being pretty close. We talked about them both having a lot of impact. If anything, as we got into the second half, Wits started to really come away and pull away with it. In this game, though, it's the complete opposite. Reality up there at 14 kills as the sniper on the T side, whereas Wits on the CT side, only 5 on the board, not having anywhere near as much impact. And ZIGMA, after so many rounds going for those A execs, they might switch things up here. Every single player starting this round on the B side of the map.
Now Wits is going to be in position, although the deep smoke make things a little bit awkward for him on the back of the AWP. Nade's going to be expended. In fact, he's looking to get aggressive. It's been a bit of a quiet performance from him after what was a stellar first map. Flashbang comes through. Is he going to check the angle? Oh, he just about gets away. The spam isn't going to do enough. The T's are actually going to execute off of this, try and put pressure onto Wits, and he's fighting back. A second kill already. The third through the wall. He can't quite close the round on his own, but he set his teammates up with a fantastic chance. However, we have already seen rounds like this slip. We've seen them falter. We've seen BREN make many mistakes, and that might be the first. As Papi Chulo goes racing around the corner, no support from his team. Reality Jesus is going to add to the toil and turmoil of this BREN side. And now it's left onto Derek. I feel like I've said that so many times to try and bring this one back. He has a kit. Just going to try and stick it. The nade will go through to do some extra damage onto Rolex. The time ticking away, however, he's trying to bait him into a peek. And while the stick hasn't caused him to push whatsoever, Rolex is playing this so well, but he doesn't win it. He finally thinks his man is going to just hold onto the bomb, and Derek wins the 1v2. Too close for comfort, and BREN are still going to feel the pain in the next round with their economy, but at least they got a round.
I think both players played pretty well in that 1v1 as well, in all honesty. Rolex did absolutely all he could to buy as much time as possible, but Derek stays calm under pressure. And this was all about Wits to begin with. Having that AWP on the B site made all the difference, because once again, Micro was unable to get a kill there. I think he wanted to drop that smoke, but he just accidentally didn't drop it in time. And he really could have done with having that extra bit of cover. That caused him to go down so quickly. And speaking of going down quickly, DP Overdose has been caught alone at mid. Pappy gets a kill over on the A side of the map. Just Cause going for the trade, finally finds it, but he's not ready for the second man. And this is an absolute whitewash. Only Niffy left alive, and we're about 15 seconds into the round.
I don't know where this came from. I'll be honest. There's few things that shock me at this point. And that might be one of them. That's one of the cleanest rounds we've seen after what was a 7-round bombardment of BREN. They then come up with a round that ultimately came down to Wits having some sick shots with the AWP. And then the next one where it was just a slaughter. And again, maybe Wits just having a slight comeback. But the problem I'm having with BREN and why I'm not particularly impressed is they got off to some good early momentum. Sure, that puts the wind in your sails. That gets you confident. Maybe you feel a little bit cocky. Maybe, Walker, you make a silly play every once in a while. Like Papi Chulo. You go, you do something a little bit dumb, and you get killed. The reason I'm not impressed is because they then did that again, and again, and again, and again, and didn't learn from it. And that's what I basically take away from a lot of these matches is so many of these teams are way too slow to adapt. Now they've gone onto the T side, 8-7 half. It isn't all that bad. And now we're into our pistol.
Certainly still all to play for here on Mirage. A couple of shots being rattled off by both teams. Pappy the only man to take significant damage so far as the bomb gets down in a 5v5. At least ZIGMA have a kit for the retake, but man, oh man, they've got a lot of work to do, and Pappy up close is the first man to deliver. Crow gets one of his own. Micro, oh, it's just a flurry of frags. Everyone chiming in for BREN. That is a perfect round by their standards. Team Ace, they take all the kills in a matter of seconds, and they turn it back into an even scoreline.
Yeah, nice pistol run from them. That is now both pistols in their favor with a third round sort of reset round in the first half as well. So when it comes to excuses for BREN, from this point onwards, there are none. Like if you win both pistols and you lose the map, you have not played a good map. Like that's pretty much as it goes. And I'm not going to say the ZIGMA have done anything particularly special, but their T side looked decent. I think it's much better than what we saw from them on Train. Reality Jesus has had a very, very good series so far. And if he continues, well, he's definitely going to be building a little bit more of a name for himself. As we've mentioned many times, this match is crucial. The loser is 100% eliminated. Even the winner might still be eliminated. Like we might have to start looking at map difference. The guys at Perfect World will have to do some statistics if, of course, I think it's if after beat Checkmate tomorrow. If not, if Checkmate win, which is expected, then the winner of this will be through. So that is a huge weight on either team's shoulders. Of course, the money jump also goes up quite significantly within the top teams in the playoffs. And also the RMR points, which, although you might be thinking, Tom, they haven't played like the first couple of RMR, does it make a difference? We don't know how many there's going to be at this point. So it genuinely could make a big difference in the future. So something to think about at least. The T's are going to go running their way through the connector. Reality Jesus is here, but he's getting overwhelmed. Lots of damage being done, though. Now the scout becomes an AWP. Niffy's position is vital, but he's been spotted. Just the jump peek out. Derek clearly wasn't fed the info, though. And, well, I can't expect too much from here.
No, especially not now that Rolex has been left alone. 5-7 is his weapon of choice. Not a successful choice, though. BREN into the lead. And yeah, touching on your point with the RMR points earlier, not only do we not know how many there are going to be, but when you get this length of time where the RMR points are still carrying over, you don't know what teams are going to make roster moves at some point. And that could make a big difference to those points. That could be everything. Maybe Tyloo do end up making a roster move for whatever reason. I can't really imagine why they do that right now, but you never know. They could do it, and then if they struggle in one of these RMR events, the other teams could actually get back into it. So it absolutely is important. This round, though, probably not so important, Tom. We've got one CZ, bought by Niffy. If I were him, I'd just buy a Deagle, but it's fine. Rest of them stuck with default pistols. They've lost the A site as well, so this round should be done and dusted at this point, especially with Wits picking up some lovely kills with the Mac 10. Gotta get him, man. Gotta get the money.
Yeah, Pappy did all the damage.
Oh, Pappy had the Mac 10 as well. Ah.
Yeah, there's thieving. Well, Niffy's managed to get an AK.
2 bullets.
Oh, I rate it. I rate it. He goes for the 2 taps and gets a kill, making things a little bit extra costly. But again, this is where ZIGMA should look to rise to the occasion. They've got the AWP back on their Starman, the rifles on the remainder of the players. EP Overdose actually having a bit of a quieter series as well. I believe he's their highest rated player. It's a good thing you didn't pick him when you were looking for your players to watch.
Yeah.
You weren't baited by the ratings. Interestingly, though, you picked Derek instead of Pappy Chulo, who Pappy Chulo is actually their highest rated by 0.01.
True, although in this tournament, Derek is higher than Pappy Chulo. That's why I did it.
There. Oh, Pappy Chulo has managed to find another kill. Still caught in the corner is Micro. He has 1 HP. If he even gets a single kill, that would be great. And actually, he had the bomb. So he needs to go running for the hills. The spam through the wall could have finished him, but in this case, it won't. Well, if he... in position. A strong one at that. Pappy Chulo needs to land the shot here, but it looks like Micro... it's possible he'll be sent in as bait.
Ugh.
Gonna go up top. Oh, Niffy caught sleeping. Having a nap midway through the round, trying to keep his energy up and instead get slaughtered for it. Smoke going to be thrown over the top. Just Cause is going to get above or thought about it. Seems like they might make the decision to get the bomb down. Oh, this is risky. This is a ring around a rosy. They've got the kill onto the B site. I want to see Pro get into a more proactive position, though. I feel like if he holds from the market, he's got a much better chance of actually holding onto this site. Nice shot to gain another, and now Just Cause is in position.
They're going A.
Which way do they go? They've gone back towards the A site. This is going to be close. Just Cause is going to be in a prime position to stop them. If they head in into B, it could be done. First kill goes his way. He knows he might have just bought enough time, but I think the bomb will go down. The seconds to spare, Pappy Chulo gets the numbers punched in and now tries to work out the position and will win it. That is one of the most stressful rounds of Counter-Strike I've ever watched. My butt cheeks could crush coal into diamonds, but the fact is, BREN managed to get it through.
I think BREN basically ran a marathon in that round, honestly, man. They had to run all across the map, going back to B, going back to A, going all over the place. Niffy getting caught sleeping at the wheel there, which is never a spot you want to be in. And then, as you said, Pro, if he got a bit more proactive, might have been able to keep them out of the bomb site. Luckily, it didn't matter. BREN were able to make the most of it, and a nice shot from Wits at the start of this one. It's only the pistols for ZIGMA. Getting that early kill always helps. BREN could get themselves up to a 12-8 lead with a win in this round. And as you said, those 2 pistol round wins could end up making all the difference in this game. If BREN can just put together a decent T side from this point on, could be getting the win. Just Cause, oh, he waited so long. He waited for the head to appear, but he wasn't able to line up the kill. And now with BREN having mid control, they should be good to go. Rolex isn't even looking the right way. This round goes from bad to worse for ZIGMA. Nothing going right for them.
Yeah, the bomb hasn't even moved. It's only Niffy remaining, and I'm hoping they'll eventually go and pick this up. I guess they really want the kill. They do know they make extra money from getting the bomb plant, right?
Who cares about that?
It has its benefits. I guess winning the round by murder is cooler. Oh, and there you go. Niffy's actually going to get an extra kill. They now know where he is, so he should be dead. Although if they keep facing him one by one, you never know. But eventually, they get it over the line. AWP's going to be saved, so no real issue there. And BREN, well, that's the conversion rounds. Again, we're going to have a purchase coming up. AWP onto Reality Jesus, utility, everything. No excuses anymore for ZIGMA. This is their own map choice. They're on the CT side. We need to see them get going.
I really got to win this round here. Reality's definitely slowed down. At the same time, he hasn't had the ult as often in this second half, so I'm sure that is a part of it. Early molly into a ramp to try and deny that aggression, but BREN are going to go anyway. They're using some nades. Smoke goes down towards jungle, and Reality not blinded at all. Easy kill into the ramp. There are still more CTs waiting in the wings, and Reality gets a second through the smoke. Now BREN might have second thoughts. Micro has pushed out into Tetris, but they've put down a defensive smoke, which could help him get back to safety. He gets the bomb back. At least that's something for BREN, but it's a man disadvantage that they have to overcome.
The last few rounds, though, we've seen some issues, I guess you could say, for Rolex getting caught out quite regularly. He's one of the lower players at the moment. PP Overdose currently right at the bottom of the board, which I wouldn't have called that going into the beginning of today. They've already rotated a second player in, but that is going to be the two, I guess I'll say, underperformers, both trying to defend that B site. 45 seconds left as they are just going to huddle up, group up, and try and hit this B site together. And PP Overdose actually quite wary that they might have made it through the mid window. It's been something that's been abandoned for a fair amount of time, so I can understand why he's trying to predict that position. I think he might have just spotted them, though. I think that's information gathered. PP Overdose needs to get something here. He's being rounded upon and he gets racked. And now it's left onto Rolex. He's deep within the site. Bomb going down. He's waiting for support. The AWP of Reality Jesus picks off one, and now it's left onto Pro. And that was anything but. He doesn't hit a single shot. And that will be 12-9.
Yeah, I don't think I'd even call that semi-pro, Tom. That was amateur, that was. Not the best spray. Reality getting back on the board, though, and that's something we were definitely looking at to be a big part of this CT side for ZIGMA. These first two kills helping significantly. At the same time, if you're going to go for this sort of A play, you might as well just put a smoke down onto CT just in case there is the AWP there. Reality there landing a shot close range on the B retake as well. But at least BREN still have money for the buy. Basically everything in play for both teams ahead of round 22. Early mid play. Oh dear, Micro's molly bounces back. That might make life awkward for him. Very tight angle for Wits. I could never hit this shot, Tom, but obviously Wits is a bit better than I am.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I've seen you play.
Yeah.
At least you're not a beta like Dinko, though, so it's alright.
True. He never admits to it as well. That's the thing. Like, if you bait and you admit it, I can respect that to some extent.
Well, from what Mitch has been saying, like, every morning, he's the master of baiting, so... That is something that he admitted on the stream. Either way, we are going to have the T's now setting up to go into this A site once again. Reality Jesus has been fantastic, but it's actually going to be Niffy. Oh, with 40 seconds, they've lost an initial man. It seems like the CT side are already looking to bolster their A site defense. The smoke will come down, but it actually sections off the connector, if anything. And running in dry, Reality Jesus actually misses a shot. I'm almost surprised by that, but I don't think it's going to matter. They've got the openers. Now the trades just need to come. With 2 players remaining, this offense has been poor, and I'd quite like to see the same from BREN that we saw from ZIGMA. That flash is so bad.
Yeah, these nades are painful. Oh, and the missed shot as well from Wits. 5 seconds. He might die after time, but he's out in the open. They kill him before. You know what I'd like to see, Tom? I'd like to see a CT smoke. Like, Reality's just AWPing CT in these rounds, and they're just not smoking him. They're trying to flash him, I guess, but he's able to dodge those pretty easily. The players had smokes left as well, because you saw as they were moving onto the site there, they just kind of awkwardly right-click a smoke. So I don't know why they're not smoking CT. You might as well just do it, because you know that the AWP's probably going to be there. And now, even though ZIGMA have lost both pistols in this game, they're coming back into this in these gun rounds. And BREN aren't exactly filling us with confidence right now.
Oh, for sure. Like, they're getting picked apart. And that's why I want to see a pace change. Stop giving Mr. Jesus These chances to find picks. There is the pace change. It's in a pistol round, of course. The flashbang's really nice. Nifty has to be careful here. Doesn't want to get overwhelmed. They're going to get the bomb plant, and they're trying to pick them apart, but they've gone a little bit too far into CT. It makes it very easy to set up this crossfire. Derek with 1, but that will be all. 2 kills, bomb plant for what they invested. Really not that bad. We'll have to see if they can actually make anything of it in the next round.
I love all the dead bodies from the T's on the map. They're like all in basically the same spot there at the spawn. You can see what they were trying. You have to get very lucky with the timing of that CT push, though. Like you said, otherwise you're just going to get that crossfire at long range, which just sucks for you. But it basically guarantees you get the bomb plant if you push CT like that. You can just plant behind the box safely on the site. And I think that was the main aim for BREN. So they'll be fine with that. Extra money on the board. Happy up there at 102 ADR, outdoing reality slightly. But it's not been enough for them so far. They do have the lead, but this T side has been slipping away from them slowly. It's a bit of typing in the chat, Tom. I'm slightly worried. There might be a tech issue, but it looks like we're just going back live, or maybe not. Yeah, we're taking a bit of time here. Chance to take a bit of a breather for both of these teams. Maybe a chance for BREN to think about what they want to do in this next round as well. Because as you pointed out, a lot of A plays, and very few of them have been successful so far.
Yeah, it's been a bit of an interesting one. I think it's more just the fact that they take so long to actually get out. And because of that, the reality Jesus at the back of the site has been able to do so much. And then one of the rounds, they focused almost too much on him, and they don't have anybody watching anywhere else. So it's not been fantastic, it has to be said. But we're going to get the photographer.
Oh, that's some more flashes.
There you go. That is a lot of flashes, in fact. In comparison to what we've seen and with the amount of rounds, that's not bad. I'm liking it. Reality Jesus as well is the AWPer.
18 kills with the AWP.
That doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense that he's the one also flashbanging. I guess he's sitting a little bit further back than some of the other players that we've seen.
Pretty impressive that 18 out of his 22 kills are with the AWP as well. Definitely helpful that he's got it in his hands for this round in the CT side of things. ZIGMA's money isn't as good as you might expect, considering they've won a fair few of these recent rounds. I mean, it's not bad, but if they were to lose this one, there could be some cause for concern. Reality this time moving into connector, taking a bit of damage from the early flames. BREN have been able to take mid early, and they haven't used too many nades on that mid control, just the 1 or 2 smokes really to be able to get into that position. That deep connector smoke is good enough. I think there is probably a small gap in it, but they're fine for the time being. Now that BREN have got the mid control, the question is, where do you go from here? The bomb's been left at spawn, but there's a massive gap in that smoke, and Pro is just able to get an easy pick onto the A side of the map. That is very nice for BREN, who have been struggling to get those early fights.
Yeah, an important one at that. Something they'll need going forward, but it's whether or not they can actually capitalize on it. It's been a few rounds in a row now for the CT side. Money's not bad for them either going forward, although Niffy with a little bit of low cash, and maybe the AWP will be a bit tougher to get out if they do lose this round. For the T's, obviously they've got the loss bonus, but that's about all. And it looks like they're going to try and challenge this AWPer once again. It's not been successful at all. They also haven't smoked off CT, so he should just have free roam. The pre-fire, though, from Micro. That's the danger man down. PP Overdose lurking in the corner. He should have 1 for free. But now they know where he is. They face him together. This is all but easy. And Derek, well, he doesn't even need to wait for that. It's going to be a kill coming up. And a 13-11 scoreline.
Yeah, the problem there for BREN could have been that they only had that 1 smoke when they were going into the A site. They'd used their smokes elsewhere, so that might have been why they didn't smoke off that CT position, but thankfully this time they were able to deal with it. Shot from Pro to begin with, and then Pappy had worked his way up mid from the earlier nades that they used, so he's there to cut off the rotation. And the CT economy, it's okay, but Niffy has had to sacrifice down to a Deeg. And this is where if BREN win this round, they could just run away with this one. Derek's already found an opening. There's a gap on top of this smoke, which Witz is looking over the top of. The man who was in connector has fallen back though, so no chance for the fight yet. And the short player was thinking about pushing the smoke. Oh, Wits gets the fight he was looking for though. It's just all the kills for BREN. ZIGMA losing every single fight. And from a 2v5, I don't know how the hell they're going to win this one. I think the answer might be that they're not going to win it, Tom.
Yeah, probably not. Now, they did have to go and retrieve the bomb. I guess that was the only real worry for me, is that on that retrieval mission, if he'd somehow walked into an opponent. But yeah, that was all too easy.
Well, ZIGMA sitting on the B site, hoping that someone is going to walk into them. And even though ZIGMA are 14-11 down, I think they're just going to have to save here. I don't really think that buying is a good idea in these circumstances. Here are these kills then. Derek got one at Palace, then Wits was able to get one over the top, and it's just the aggression from ZIGMA. They tried pushing over at A, they tried taking the initiative, mainly with solo plays though, which are always going to be unlikely unless you land a really good shot or get a good timing window. And none of that happened for ZIGMA in that round. And now their buy is not great ahead of a round where if they lose this one, they'll have to just play for overtime. They only have one rifle, Tom.
Yeah, this is rough. Like, Just Cause definitely had a big clutch earlier, but this would have to be incredible. I like what they're at least doing in this round. They've stacked up on the B site. They've taken a risk, and by the looks of it, they are going to be having that stack pushed. An interesting decision to go up against what is a weaker buy and run into the B site. Not a fan. I think BREN have made a pretty poor decision with how to play this one, and they are getting slaughtered for it. Derek at least managing to find a trade, and the remaining players are left with pistols, but for PP, that might just be enough. And while Wit's getting tagged low, the last man of Papi Chulo a little bit further behind. Gonna retrieve the AK at least. The push could be coming through. Nice work from Reality Jesus. They might have just got a lifeline. He hits the shot with the AWP. And while ZIGMA, fantastic round. BREN, one to forget.
If BREN go on to lose this game now, they will be kicking themselves. Not only did they win both pistol rounds, that's a round they should have been winning as well. It was such a shame for Wits as well from this van position, because he picked up this AK and then realized it had no bullets in it. So he reloads and Reality says, I smell some easy pickings. I smell an easy kill. And he gets just that. Even with the USP, he can win that fight against a player who doesn't have any bullets to work with. And now ZIGMA have actually pushed BREN onto the back foot. Two weaker weapons in play for the BREN side of things. And a very heavy mid presence from ZIGMA at the start of this round. Almost every player is playing in and around this mid position. I guess Niffy is technically on the A side of the map, but he's also near connector. So if there's any mid fights going down in this round, ZIGMA are very well prepared for them.
It's interesting that Derek would actually rather play like a Deagle than, say, a MAC-10 or even a Galil. You have to obviously add the extra money of the Deagle on. Pro, nice start. Not quite going to get anything more, but that's at least a couple of weapons on the deck. Now, they've got the B site. They have the B site completely under their control, but they don't have the bomb. So they've now got to go on a full rotation. Micro's going to be able to get aggressive. They've killed off Wits as well. I'm not sure what this rotation was by the CT side, but they've made a terrible error. Maybe not worse, though, than if PP Overdose catches out Wits. Timing's going to be everything of Wits. He wins that duel with 5 HP. That could have been the defining moment of the round. Now the bomb can run the gauntlet on towards the site, although... Oh, they're so lucky! Reality does manage to kill the man behind. Niffy's got into the site. Another one dropped. A pistol push coming back in, and it's Wits just trying to hold the line. It's left into a 1 versus 1. Derek facing off against Reality Jesus. The two stars of the show by the looks of it. Bomb yet to be planted, and he only has seconds to spare. 10, in fact, as he's going to go back just looking to try and find anything. He's got to go for it now. It has to be the stick.
Oh.
He tried to bait it in. He's lost the round.
Oh, not the time for the fake, Derek. He thought that he could bait him in, but surely just wait until you hear the steps at least. Wanted to try and win the round for his team. Instead, it ends up going against him. I I think as well, just in general, Tom, BREN need to pick one player to be the dedicated bomb carrier. Because this has been a consistent issue for them on Mirage. So many rounds they've left the bomb behind, and it's been really costly for them. It's been a real problem for them. Getting the bomb so late onto the B site, they're not helping them. And now, BREN are in this terrible position where their money is not in great shape. ZIGMA are the ones who honestly have looked better in the gun rounds, even though they're behind right now. I think they've looked like the better team personally. And again, if BREN let this game slip away from them, it's going to be such a frustrating game because they've had the chances to win it. They know that this game has been in their hands. And yet right now, they're down to pistols. And it looks like we're going to be going the distance in regulation. As long as ZIGMA win this round, we could be going to 30. Nifty is currently solo on the A side of the map, but he's about to have PP Overdose rotate over. And that means with 2 players here, I think the rifle should have no issues holding, although Nifty's already gone down.
Oh dear, Pappy has managed to get an early kill, but just as I begin to worry, the slaughter comes back in. Bomb plant's going to be beneficial. That's at least some extra money. Micro shouldn't get anything more. Well, he's pretty much blown his load a little bit early. Rolex plus PP will be there to close him out. 14-14. A lifeline for ZIGMA been given for sure. A few crucial mistakes. You have to remember there was a round where their opponents had a half buy, a mix buy, and they rushed B. Not a good decision. And then the round prior, where they had a huge advantage but left the bomb behind. They've definitely found big holes in the defense of ZIGMA, that's for sure. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to capitalize on them. And we've had, again, a couple of quieter performances. And by a couple, I mean one man in particular, Micro. I can't sit here and say he's even like the supportive player really for this squad, because I don't think he is. I don't think he's like setting up flashbangs and getting. We can have a look. Let's have a look how many flash assists he has. If he has a load, then maybe I can be forgiven.
I think he has
0.
Wait, but all of them have 0.
Except for PP Overdose.
Yeah, over on the ZIGMA side. Huh.
That's really interesting then, because that means that Just Cause has thrown, what was it, 20-something flashbangs?
Yeah, it was like 24. And that was a few rounds ago.
0 have been affected.
The only thing I'm wondering is, because we had that tech issue, could that be messing with the stats? Because we did have that reset. That's what we'll hope for, at least. Sometimes, though, it's actually fine not to get the flash assist, because the flash's aim might just be to force a player to run away. So, you know, those flashes could have still been all right. I'm really trying to be the nice guy here, Tom, basically. That's what I'm trying. Yes. I've still got the youthful optimism in me.
It's the same as Dinko, basically. Like, Blair, he starts molding. He gets annoyed. He starts shouting out the word Glock. And you just see Dinko. He just tries to power through. He's like, come on. Oh, yeah, this is great. And then eventually he cracks too. Now, you've only been here for just this morning. So we'll see if you can be cracked within 2 days. That'll be an impressive record for Asian Counter-Strike. Although, I'll say I was pretty broken on the first day. Now, this round, Reality Jesus is gone. He's been, so far in this map, he's been my MVP. He's been fantastic. He was pretty good in the last map as well. So, Save Jesus maybe needs to be our new hashtag. I'm not sure how well that would go down. But either way, Wits, good. Well, good-ish position. He hits the shot. I'm a bit questioning why he was there, but hey, if you hit the shot, you hit the shot. Papi Chulo is there as well, and the wide peak with low HP might not be ideal, but PP Overdose, he is very low on HP. He has a kit. The smoke's not on the bomb. He's in fact going to pick up an AWP. I like that idea. Unfortunately, he needed to land the shot, and he didn't.
Well, at least BREN are the first team to 15. They've got the chance to close it out in regulation. After some rounds they should have won earlier, this is their chance to put all that behind them, put their right foot forwards, and win the series. This could be a 2-0 for them. This could be an incredibly important result in this tournament. There's that opener for Derek. Papi Chulo getting another one at mid, just catching those B players. And then, as you said, Wit's so exposed on that angle. It didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. BREN take the opportunity, and Derek, oh, he gets caught early. Just Cause pushing through underpass. Look at the A side of the map, though. Instant response from BREN. They're going to try and move into this A side.
All right, it's down to our Lord and Savior. Will he be brought back down to reality? That's the real question. He's been forced out of position. Peek out from Just Cause. He wants to try and do this on his own. He's found a trade at least. There is a smoke available. Happy Chulo has it in hand. He's going to expend it. Spam through. Gets them one. Micro with an impactful double. As said, he's had a quiet game so far, but this could be huge. A bomb plant possible. Happy rotates in to try and support Micro. Fortunately, there's no PP on the other side to continue this pun. Nice shot from him. It's left all onto Rolex. Is this the end of his watch? It will be.
Great reposition from Pappy at the end there. Makes sure to help his teammate, and he makes sure to get BREN an all-important victory here. They're 4